Oh, it was a blessing. Anytime you get to come home, don't have to travel, get to play with your guys. It was just a blessing to be out there, and I'm glad that we got the dub.
What did you guys see as the big difference between the success that you achieved in the first half and things not going that well in the second half?
I think just overall execution. There was a little miscues on offense, and there was one play on defense. They came back and won the game for us. Jesus stepped up big time. So it's just things over the course of a game that you got to go through, but you just got to find a way. I think we started off slow, and then we had a mishap the first play of the game. But it's just going out there and just getting used to everything, getting into the flow of the game. We had a bye week. So just getting back into the flow of the game and just getting our rhythm back.
We work on it a lot. Coach Dilly puts us through a lot of close game scenarios at the all fall camp. We're pretty much working on a scenario every single day. So it's not like we prepare for it. We want to beat teams pretty bad, but we're ready for it. So we're not ever flinching in those moments. So that's why you never see us waver in those moments. So that's pretty good. I just think that we put key points into we put things into making things happen. So players make plays. At the end of the day, Coach Dilly praises on that, and so we at the end of the day we got to make plays, and we end up making plays every single time.
George Cook and Keith Abney, George.
Take me through the moment when you got the game-winning interception, and how do you feel in this instance, and especially saving the Sun Devils' chances of advancing to the big 12 championship game?
It felt amazing, man. Just being able to make that play for my team, trusting Coach Ward to put me in a position to make that play. It's crazy. Me and the quarterback made eye contact right before that, so I kind of knew it was coming for real. So it was a great feeling though, amazing feeling.
What were you thinking when he picked you off that way?
What you mean?
When you guys had the eye contact.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's coming. I was like, yeah.
Did you hold back the smile?
A little bit. I try to keep a straight face.
Can't give it away.
Yeah. I feel like
I'm gonna say I think just coming out the bye week, y'all know, what I'm saying, we ain't played football in a little minute. A lot of this, we knew that they were running a lot of complex stuff on the offense side of the ball, so it was really more so of just had to see what let them settle down first. Honestly, let the first few drives go by and kind of get a gist of what they had going on, and once we kind of got a deal on that, then we started speeding up and playing a lot faster. But yeah, I think just we knew we were gonna see a lot of different stuff. Yeah, I would say those type of plays, like goal line plays like that, those mentality plays, you know what I'm saying, when you're back against the wall, that's it's either they get in or they don't, so that's just a mentality thing. I think everybody just bowled up, on a few goal line stops we had, and just play hard. And then I think I've seen that again at the end, just coming out there and just playing hard and knowing that physicality and effort, most times you go out there and do those things, you'll be all right.
We work on that every day, every single day. Perimeter. We all hate it. Nah, I wouldn't say hate it, but we all go to practice oh, we got perimeter today. We talk about it, and it's a joke between all of the skill positions. But it pays off at the end. Work works.
Keith, were you surprised by how many times different sets of trickle down?
Yeah, a little bit. I usually don't get that many targets, but man, it was good to finally get some targets, man. Yeah, it was great.
You guys don't give up the 2 or 3 big plays. You guys shut these down pretty much.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So like today, in those big plays, the third, 23rd, and then the early one, what did you expect what happened?
For me, I'll say this more they kind of just got us. We didn't give we kind of let out the 3rd and 27. I feel like we laid back a little bit,
Yeah,
man.
we just got to go back to the fundamentals in the moment. I think that's really what it comes down to. Get out the field. I think it's just that simple. Yeah. And I don't know if y'all seen, but Rod got up and he started dancing. Like,
Yeah.
now when I seen that, I was like, yeah, no, it's time to play, dog. That turned me up. But no, I think that kind of gave us a little boost, just seeing him down there like that, and then you know him being able to get up and get off on his not on his own feet, but you know what I'm saying, he was able to walk. And you just get up smiling, and he was dancing a little bit. So I think that kind of gave the team a little more juice. And, come out there and just go make more plays.
After that long touchdown, you guys immediately just mentioned having your back against the wall, turn around, pass it, stop it once you again. Such a game. It's better in defense. How did you guys talk in the huddle, prepare yourself for that?
Yeah, no, I mean, just saying things like, you know what I'm saying, it's this shit right here. I mean, we know the type of kids we got, like we know the type of players we got. We've been in situations like this before, where it's came down to the wire. It's nothing new. So just going out there and, like I said, going back to the fundamentals and playing harder and executing. I think that's just what it come down to. I mean, it's not like a big rah-rah speech when we get in there. It's just, a matter of going out there and making it happen. You know what I'm saying? Getting it done.
And just trusting each other.
And
Everybody
trusting each
just, I trust him to do his job. He trusts me to do my job. Trusting everybody to do their job. Nobody trying to be a Superman out there. Everybody just do their 111.
When you talk about trusting each other, Coach Dillingham was talking a lot about how he feels like this group is really tight-knit. You guys have been battered by injuries on both sides of the ball, so how do you maintain that connection late in games with guys that might not have been in the position yet this season?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a next man up mentality. You know what I'm saying? Just so it's everybody done been had countless reps with each other, and so it's not like it's nothing new. We had one guy go down and another guy come back in. That guy been taking reps with us too, so it's not like it's something new. Just like I said, just going out there and making sure we execute, play fast, and trust each other, and ultimately get out the field.
I feel like after practice hours, I spend a lot of time with multiple guys, and then just going through the reads, going through the process of the progressions of the plays that Coach Arroyo calling. You just got to get playmakers the ball and let them do what they do. It was amazing seeing Derek go out there and score, especially me and Derek. We came in here last year during camp, this year during camp. We was with the twos, and it was just me and him. So coming out here and throwing him a touchdown, it was amazing to see that.
You guys are still very much in the Big 12 conference games left. A lot of people on social media after Sam went down kind of like wrote the team on. How does it feel that you guys responded the way you did in the last two games?
One thing about us, we don't really worry about outside factors. All that stuff gonna be there, and we don't really care. So we just focus on what we can do, what we can work on, and how we work. And I feel like we got a lot of trust in each other, and that's the thing about this team. We got a lot of belief in each other. So anything is possible for us.
One more, guys. What do you guys think about Jeff stepping up and helping lead you guys?
Yeah, no, I told y'all in my interview 2 weeks ago, when he was about to start in the Iowa State game, like I said, we had already let Jeff know, we was behind him, we didn't feel no different type of way, just because Sam wasn't playing or, like I said, it was the next man up. We had the same confidence in Jeff to go out there and, take us and lead us to the win, as much as we did with Sam. And like you said, we trust everybody on this team. We know what type of players we got. We know the type of team we got. We know the type of mindsets we got in here. So, somebody go down, we know, next man up, it's the same mentality, I think that's just how we go about it,
Yeah, I feel like it kind of goes to what you were saying about everybody being close, knit, with guys going down and stuff like that. It's easy to trust Jeff because we see Jeff coming to work every day. We see Jeff, wasn't playing at first, and, he didn't have an attitude. He wasn't, moping around and stuff. So just seeing him come to work every day and him finally get that opportunity, it's just great to see, man.
All right, thank you, guys.
Chris Cartman, son of a source. Kenny, you guys are making it interesting. How are you feeling right now about all that?
I mean, like I told the guys in our locker room, some people find ways to win. Some people find ways to lose. Whether that's some people, are quiet and they're successful versus guys that are loud and successful. Some people are alphas. Some people aren't. There's so many ways to be successful in football and life. Some people like controversy. Some people hate it. do you get it done or not? And our guys get it done. And I think that's what I told him. It's a great life lesson that nobody cares about the pain. Show me the baby, right? That's nobody says like, how was it? They say, show me the baby, right? And other than me, when my wife gets pregnant, I'm going to be very concerned about the pain and all of that. Make that perfectly clear. But everybody else is going to say, show me the baby. And unfortunately, that's life. And right now, like, we're getting it done. And it's so cool to watch these guys, like, through all the adversity this year, like 7-3 still in this thing. Like, I don't know what happened in games earlier today that affect us, but I mean, unbelievable.
Blake Neiman, Fox 10 News. Kenny, over here.
Oh, hi, Blake.
What's up?
Y'all are all in different spots. Y'all have reserved seats in here, and you're not in your assigned seat, I feel like.
We get crowded in here. Jeff, 3 touchdowns to 3 different receivers. Last week when he was, or 2 weeks ago, really showing up with his legs, but today getting 3 different guys involved on 3 different touchdowns. What were your thoughts on just his performance?
Yeah, I mean, I truly think I think it was last, 18 months ago that I think our team has 2 NFL quarterbacks. And I think some people laughed at me or thought I was a little bit crazy. I still believe that. I think Jeff Sims is a guy who can play on Sundays. I absolutely believe that. And for him to be able to get his opportunity is super cool. And me and Coach Roy would joke about it. We're like, man, what's right in the universe is for him to go out and be successful because he's such a good kid. So if people watching, he's a phenomenal human.
And then quick thing on Derek, getting to see him, a guy who's really worked and just showed up every single day, not complained at all. What was that like seeing him get his
Yeah, just to see Eusebio play like that is pretty fun. I mean, 6 receptions, 74 yards, touchdown. I mean, it's cool to get everybody's getting involved right now in some way, shape, or form. 19 to 28, that's about, 68% completion percentage, I think, maybe 64. I don't know, somewhere in that range, right? Somewhere in that middle 60s. That's pretty good for a quarterback with 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. And I think it's because he's taking what the defense has given him, and he's distributing the ball.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. It's Aya Abdeen for Devils in Detail. I have 2 questions for you. So Keith told me just a few moments ago that me and the West Virginia quarterback made eye contact right before that. So I was like, I know it's coming. And he ultimately had the game-sealing interception, which it sealed the win and the chances for the Sun Devils to advance back to the Big 12. How good is it to see these moments like this and continue to build the momentum for the Sun Devils football?
Yeah, well, I think, we want to recruit smart kids here. Our slogan to win football games is smart, tough, the ball, the team. And Keith's a guy who's in the Barrett Honors Program, the #1 honors program in the country. And, a little plug for Barrett right there. He's in it. And when you see smart players make smart plays, it starts in the classroom. It starts in how he carries himself and just in life. And then when it carries over to game day like that, it just shows you that, being smart, helps you win football games, and it's going to help him in life.
And another question from me. How special is it to see Jeff Sims play in front of the Sun Devils home crowd for the first time?
Yeah, it's awesome. I think he was fired up. I was trying to get him there to ring the bell, but Keith took it, and he deserved it too. So yeah, it's great for him to get a win. Now we got to get back to the drawing board. Got a team that's coming off of a bye. We only play close games, so it'll be a close game. So we got to find another way to win.
Coach Greg Moore, Arizona Republic, congratulations on the win. It seems like since day one, you've been talking about enthusiasm and how much that matters. And I'm in the press box, I look down, I see Jordan Tyson. He's running around. He looks like he wants to play. What does that kind of enthusiasm do for you guys, the guys on the field, from a guy who's not playing to give that much energy?
Yeah, I mean, Jordan loves ball. Jordan's ultra competitive. If Jordan could play, he would play. I know there's obviously going to be weird narratives out there about him, right? Because he's such a great player. If Jordan could play football right now, he would 100% play football. Jordan wants to play, right? But Kenny Dillingham's not going to let him play until he's 100%, not 90%, not 95%. When you're dealing with muscles, you don't mess around. You can't push through a muscle, right? If your shoulder hurts, if your knee hurts, you can push through something. You can't push through when you have a torn hamstring. It's just you got to wait and rehab and hope to come back as soon as possible. So hopefully he's progressing, whether that's this week, next week, who knows? We just got to keep progressing him, and he's putting in the work to come back, and he wants to come back.
Well, for whatever it's worth, Coach, I do notice a limp when I see him walk, right? Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you ever, like, want to strap him to a chair or something to make sure he doesn't hurt himself cheering the guys on?
These are still kids, man. These are 18 to 22-year-olds, other than, Cooper, 25, that are having the time of their life. These are the moments they're going to remember for the rest of their life out here. If he jumps a little too high in excitement for his teammates, like, all right, if that's the worst thing we do, I'm going to sleep pretty good at night.
Doug Franz, Unplugged podcast. First quarter, they go for it on that fourth down. I'm not asking you to comment on what Rich Rod does, but there's a slogan, don't poke the bear, and it seemed like you guys, if sleepwalking is an offensive term, weren't quite all there going into that moment, and you were there, and the team rolled quickly. Did you feel like the defense gave everybody a charge with that stick?
Yeah, that was obviously a big down. I would have done the same thing if I was Rich Rod in that scenario. Make a team go 99 yards to try to score. So I would have done the same thing. So I thought it was a good decision by him. And we just made a play. I mean, at the end of the day, we're stopped him 4 inches short. And I do think that created some momentum for us, just like it would have created momentum for them if it would have been 4 inches further. So big play by us. We stepped up in the biggest moment.
And the 2-point conversion, was that something you saw on film? Was that a check that you saw right there? Explain that play.
Yeah, that was Coach Nudo. It had nothing to do with me. Coach Nudo saw something on tape, and he said, I think we can get a free point by going for 2. And I said, okay, show it to me. And he presented it in my office, and I'm like, yeah. So I said, if we get to the right situation, we were in the right situation. I believe we were up 4. We scored, to go 7-3, so we score. And that 2-point conversion kind of made it to where they had to score 2 touchdowns. It made the trade-off to where they would always be trailing. They could never kick a field goal to get back in the game at that point. So we felt it was worth it. We got it. And then when you look at it, right, if they would have got the 2-point conversion trade-off game, right, they may not have gone for it at the end if they were only down by 1 instead of 2 in that scenario at the end. So you don't. As the game progresses, that became big in like the math of what happened at the end of the game. That play was bigger than people think. Even though you win by 2, that 2 points caused a difference in strategy on both sides of the ball there at the end.
That's why I asked. And lastly, will you take us through your emotions of when you're jumping up and down waving for a cart? I mean, it's one thing for fans and media to care, but those aren't our kids, and we know that they're your kids, and you're demanding the cart come out on the field, and then, 10 minutes later, you have a kid dancing on the field. Take us through everything you felt.
Well, it was scary. He was, anytime he made a great hit, and I was fired up, and then he didn't get up, and I'm like, all right, well, anytime you make a hit like that violent, get everybody over here as fast as possible. Like, this is transition, right, mode. And then the doctors got there. We have the Mayo Clinic. We have some of the best doctors in the world. And, they assessed him. They felt like he could stand up. And, he was smiling. He asked if he stopped him short. And I'm like, yeah, you did, Rodney. You did. Now get healthy, right? Get up. And, he was like, get me back out there. I'm like, no. Lay here, bud. Lay here for a little bit. So, it's... we called his parents right after I actually went over to our DFO. I'm like, make sure we call his parents and make sure his parents know. And but yeah, I think he's doing well.
Hey Kenny, Jose Romero, Arizona Republic. On the 4th down stops, the 2, you're running up to the official trying to get his attention for a timeout. Like, what was that moment like? Was it maybe more last minute than it should have been down there? And then after the timeout, what were some of the things you said to the defense to energize them to make those plays?
Well, it just depends if we like the call versus the look, right? If we're sound in the look. So it's kind of spur of the moment based off of, you have certain calls that you want for certain things. And if they come out and they kind of get you, you want to make sure that on those critical downs, you have the best call possible. So when I'm just like the messenger. Coach Ward's like, call timeout, and I run out there and call timeout. He said, don't call timeout, and I stand there and cross my fingers, right? So it's really Coach Ward from the box, telling me to run or to stand there,
Ryan?
Hey, Coach. Ryan Myers, Devil's Digest. For you seeing the amount of skill players, like you kind of mentioned earlier, that are getting a lot of touches, getting more confident, playing well, and also seeing the way that players are blocking for each other, like on Derek's touchdown with Shaman and Jalen both having big blocks. What do you make about the offensive production that you guys have seen and how the team has really progressed over the last few weeks of the season? The way you're
We're getting better and better, especially in the first half. Our last two first halves have been really good. Now, we've come out in the second half and stalled at points. We still move the ball. It's not like we're going 3 and out. Like, we just still move the ball down the field, and then we stall. So we gotta be better in the second half. We gotta make better adjustments. I gotta make better adjustments in the second half. In the first half, it was all zone pressure. Jeff was just really playing good football versus zone pressure. Second half, they came out and played man pressure and more man coverage. And, I think we could have done some more things as a staff to help our players in that scenario. Are the plays okay? Of course, every play can be man, right? But are they advantages, right? Are we doing more to help? And I think we could have done a little bit more to help here in a few of those second half drives. But I thought Coach Royal had an unbelievable plan. I thought they executed. We moved the ball. We just got to convert some of those fourth downs on offense.
Hey, Kenny.
Hi.
Keegan Vaughn, Walter Cronkite Sports Network. I was curious, to have Jeff go from a record-setting performance on the ground to 3 touchdowns through the air, was that part of the game plan to emphasize the passing attack?
100%. Jeff's a quarterback. Jeff can sling it. Last week was, or 2 weeks ago, whatever that was a team that the +1 run is like everybody does it versus those teams. You almost have to, the way they play defense. Like, you have to take advantage of it, right? Because that's kind of what they're daring you to do. Well, not every game is like that. So the +1 runs were not nearly as productive. When we called them at the end there, we had one big one this week because the scheme is different. The scheme this week made him have to throw quick game versus pressure teams. And he went out there and did that. And I think that's why I say I got a lot of confidence in Jeff.
And then with Mateer not only laying that block down on Derek's touchdown, but this is his 3rd straight game with a touchdown of his own. What did you think about his performance?
Yeah, Shaman's, I think, a Sunday player as well. Scouts are starting to talk about him. I've been singing his praises for a year. He blocks people, catches the ball. He's physical. He's one of the smartest kids in the team. He works hard. He's a good person. I don't know what else you'd want.
Hey, Coach. Adam Beadle, Arizona Varsity. You had said in a point very early on last season that your team was a group of misfits and underdogs. And Jeff and Derek came in here and talked about how, through the camps they were second-team guys, and now because of injuries they've had to step up. And I know a bunch of other guys in your team have had to step up as well. Does any part of that sort of saying still kind of ring true about your guys, even though you've won a Big 12 championship and you were picked, first the Big 12 preseason?
Yeah, I think everybody's got to find a way to have a chip on your shoulder. I think you should always find your own way to motivate yourself. And I think a lot of those guys have been counted out, told they're not good enough, told they can't play quarterback, laughed at, told you can't play Division I wideout. Whatever it is, a lot of guys on our team have still been told no, right? They haven't been praised. So I think that mindset really, I think that's why we win close games is they like each other. Like, there's a brotherhood, there's a genuine brotherhood, and those guys want to win so bad. Like, it's the will to win, the will to compete, right? And they find a way.
Hey, Coach. Luke Lumner, Sun Devil Source. Big plays have, especially late in games, have occasionally haunted your defense over the last few years. Today, there was one late, but then the defense kind of turned it around and made the stop when it mattered. What did it say about that unit to recover with its back against the wall?
Yeah, we give up a 80-yard 3rd and 27, I don't know, or whatever it was. That was the craziest play I've probably ever been a part of. Legitimately, the worst probably play I've ever been a part of. I don't know of a worse play. I got beat by Hail Mary. That's one. That's two. Okay? And for our guys to bounce back and stop the 2-point conversion, which allowed us to kick a field goal for the win instead of the tie. Winning football. Right? Then they come back and get a stop to win. So really cool to see our guys respond in that setting and in the real live moment to corral themselves, get a stop, and then get another stop.
And Jordan mentioned after he saw after he saw Bimage dancing while he was getting up, that it kind of fired him up and it turned him up for the rest of the game. After those big plays, the energy stayed high. Players were flying, dancing. What does that say about this player culture that you've spoken so often about for them to?
Yeah, these guys want to win for each other. Like I said, they run the show. Before we leave the locker room, they say the last words. That's what I want. I want a team that the team is in charge. Now I'm gonna, keep the guardrails on and help them make good decisions, right? And we're gonna wind it and work together, right? But I'm no bigger than the team. I'm just one of the people that are trying to help it get to the right area and the right place as a program, right? They're the team. I'm trying to run a program. Those are two kind of different things, right? You're in it while you're trying to build what you want, right? Somebody said something the other day about like you're building the airplane while you're flying it. Like that's what it is. You're like, oh crap, this is broken on the airplane. We got to fix this while we're in the air, right? That's college football. There's so much changing. You're constantly pushing to fix things and get things better while you're still accomplishing the task of flying the airplane. And I think that's kind of my role. And their role is to lead our team, right? My role is to help build this program. And I think sometimes those can get mixed, but my ultimate role every single year is the program, the players, the program. They go hand in hand.
Tyler. Hi, Coach. Tyler Weiss, Walter Cronkite Sports Network. Cam Harple with that two-point conversion in the second. How often has that specific play been practiced, and what was the thought process behind that decision?
Once, and it was picked off in practice because we did it versus our defense when our defense can stop it. And it was brought to me by Jack Nudo, and he said, I think I got a free point, like we alluded to earlier. And I watched it, and I'm like, yeah, we do. And then he came up to me after the first touchdown and said, hey, it's there. And I said, looked at it, 4-point lead. I'm like, okay, well, then the math, all right, do it, right? So whatever it was at that point, I think it was a 4-7-3, so 14-3, so 13-3. Yeah, it's about right. Made it a 12-point game.
Kenny, a lot of ASU fans are trying to interpret comments made this week and recently by you and by Graham about how well resourced that you are, NIL, and even as that pertains to your future at ASU. So what can you say to them about all those things?
Yeah, well, I go on the radio Friday morning and I don't have all the information. And so I mean, Graham was right. I mean, we met on Friday with, our, admin and people who represent Dr. Crow, and I have a lot of confidence that they're all in. I have a lot of confidence that our administration is pushing the chips to the table on winning in football here. The conversations we have, I think everybody's got to start understanding that this university is supporting football. This university is really doubling down on what we're doing right now. And that's such a relief, for me. I just want to be able to push this place to its limit. And sometimes if I can do some things that, people don't like, but that's not my job to be liked. I never came in here in a press conference and said, I want to be liked. I said, I want to activate the Valley. I want to win games. I want to get this program better, right? And sometimes that is ruffling feathers, and it is what it is. But I know this. I know our university is behind us. They're behind this program. They're behind winning games. And I can say that with a lot of confidence that they're going to support this place at a level that can win and compete in the Big 12. I was never leaving, Greg. Contrary to what the betrayal article, I was never leaving. I never said I was leaving. This is home. But, you do have to continue to push. And my job running a program is to push and push and push until you can't push anymore. And if I didn't do that, I'd be cheating my players, I'd be cheating my staff, I'd be cheating the fan base, I'd be cheating everybody in the city, I'd be cheating the local businesses that feed off of us winning and then they, sell more beer, right? I'd be cheating everybody. So my number one goal always is to do whatever I can to push the envelope for Arizona State football.
Hey, Coach, Jake Sloan, Sun Devil Source. You guys didn't commit a penalty in the first quarter for the first time this year and finished with only 5 total. What does that kind of speak about the discipline compared to past games?
I mean, I think I've yelled no penalties like half of the practice in the last 3 days. My voice is probably sore from yelling no penalties. So it was good to see us not get as many stupid penalties. That was refreshing.
Coach Michael Caratino, Pitchfork Lunch. When you talk about, obviously Rodney's play was a great open field tackle, and it just seems like open field tackling has been good, but I mean, since you went more physical in practice, like you're saying, how do you feel the defense has just responded to that? And what have you thought of the open field tackling?
Yeah, I mean, our defense stopped the run at a high rate. I mean, I think it was, 36 rushes, 39 rushes for 68 yards. We just give up explosive passes. Gave up one seam ball for 60 after we took a 12-point lead. I believe it was right after 2-point conversion. And then we gave up another touchdown on the fourth quarter on a third and, like I said, 27. Take away those two plays of 100 and probably 70 yards, and, they're in the, 250 yardage range. That's a really, really good football game. Unfortunately, all the plays count, so.
Hey, Coach Aiden Blank, House of Sparky. This fan base had a love affair with Sam Levitt. A lot of the national media kind of did too. He was the shining gem of your program.
Yeah, I did too. I do too.
What is it like to see the embrace that they've had for Jeff Sims? He was, you see all the memes on Twitter. He got mentioned by multiple, legendary coaches and players on College Game Day this morning. What has it been like to see the national and the local embrace of him stepping up and leading this program?
Honestly, I haven't seen it because I really try to remove, unless, like I said, my sister sends me something, which she does often, right? But unless she sends me something or my wife shows me something from my sister, I really don't get into it in season. But if that's happening, that's awesome because he deserves it. Like I said, he's such a great human being, right? Like, he deserves it all.
Finish up with Adam. Hey, Coach, Adam Keating, Cronkite News. A lot of emotional swings towards the end of that game, and you guys have shown an ability to have this program-wide poise with 18 to 22-year-olds that could maybe be affected by those emotions. Just how do you go about instilling confidence across the board in your players?
I think they're comfortable. I think when you are nervous or you're trying to win or trying to do something for somebody else or you're scared to make a mistake, I think at the biggest moments, right, you get tight. If I fail, this is going to happen to me. And I think our program is really based off of, like, when you succeed, this is what's going to happen to you. And I think that mindset in the biggest moments, people aren't playing scared, right? They're playing comfortable and free, and they're exciting to play. They're excited to play. They're excited to play in those moments, not dreading what if I make a mistake in those moments. And I think that's the culture we're trying to build, is a culture, have more fun, working harder than anybody in the country. Like, who wouldn't want to be on the field in the fourth quarter, like up 2, at home, at homecoming? Like, why wouldn't you want to be on the field? As opposed to, oh man, we got to make a play. No, go play football, baby. Let's go. And I think there's some power in that positive thought process. There's power in, like, the joy of playing kind of free.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
So the worst or the second worst?
Second worst. Yeah. You can't beat a Hail Mary loss.